Welcome back to Men with Purpose. I'm Nigel and I'm your host. So today I have a guest and I'm just going to give it the chance to introduce herself.
Hi everyone, I'm Kusima Joshua Prudence. I'm from Uganda. I'm doing psychology and I love digital marketing. I love social media and I interest myself in everything to do with solving people's problems using psych-based strategies.
Okay, so Prudence, it's a nice having you on the podcast. So today the topic we're going to be discussing is why is it that a lot of talented people they often lose to average disciplined people. So we're going to be looking at why is it like people who have the talent they often lose to people who are just average but they are disciplined. So I think Prudence, you can just give us a brief background of what could be one of the reasons why people have the talent they often lose to just average people who are just like disciplined and they're just like consistent in whatever they're doing every day, whether it might be like their academic life or even financially or in different aspects of just life in general.
Um, the, what I get from the question is why do talented people
Mhm,
usually fail?
mhm,
And we're going to first start dissecting this question from what does talent mean
mhm.
and where does talent come from. So the word talent came or originated from a Greek word called talenton. So
Okay.
this word was not didn't basically mean a gift or an ability. This word was referring to money. It was referring to an exchange. But later in the biblical context, it was changed when the Bible was talking about something to do with ability. And so
Mhm.
right now we think about talent as a gift. And so my explanation of talent, according to my research, is currency.
Currency.
Yes.
Okay.
So the brief introduction that you want is
Mhm,
if we want to understand why talented people usually fail, is that they fail to use talent as a currency
mhm.
and they use it as a strategy.
Strategy. Okay.
So that's the
So if there's
introduction.
something which I picked out from what you were saying, you mentioned something about like a gift, of which if you can say someone as a gift, meaning they don't even have to like really put any effort into what they're doing. So
Mhm.
it's just like someone who think they have like, let's say they're naturally intelligent, they have like intellect. They think they don't have to like put too much effort.
Mm.
So we can say that just because this person is like a gift of understanding things quickly
Mm.
or like the ability to learn things in a short space of time,
Yeah.
just because they are gifted with that, we can say that's like a talent they have.
Yeah.
But someone who doesn't have that like talent, that's like the same thing we're saying that they have to now like put some effort more than the space because this person just says, you know what, I have
Mhm.
like intellect. I don't even have to like prepare for this in like let's say 3 months earlier. Maybe I can
Mm.
do this like the
Mm.
last week
Mm.
before it's required. So that's one thing which I picked out from what you were saying about when someone is as a gift, that's like the form of the talent they
Yeah.
have. So I have like some points which I have, yeah, and if there's one thing which I noted down was people have like talent, they don't really do something until they feel like it.
Yeah.
So someone who has a talent might just feel like, okay, let's say in academics, they might feel like, okay, today I don't feel like studying today. I don't feel like I have to like take any of my books to read to understand like a certain topic or something. Those are like the people of talent. They just want to do something when they feel like it. But people don't have the talent. They know like every day or every week, and let's say maybe 5 times a day, they know they have to like do the same type of thing.
Mm.
So I think it falls also under the thing which you're saying that these people have talents just because it's a gift. They no
Yeah.
longer even like want to put any
Yeah.
effort. So can you like share
Mm.
your thoughts on that?
I think to better understand talent
Mhm,
from a psychological perspective,
mhm,
we need to use a theory of intelligence by a researcher called Gardner. So,
mhm,
if we look at talent as a way of being intelligent, in his perspective, this is what he explains. He says that we are intelligent in different things.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah. So you can be you can be mathematically intelligent.
Okay. Mhm,
You can be kinesthetically intelligent. It means you're
What's
good.
kinesthetically
Kinesthetically intelligent means
intelligent?
that
Yeah.
you know how to move your body. It means
No,
that
okay.
your intelligence falls in that category, right?
Okay.
If you are if you are spatially intelligent, it means
Mhm.
that you can easily do architecture
Okay.
and things that regard that. Like
Mhm.
your mind does well when it's making images and
Mhm.
geographical illusion. Yeah. So talent can be classified in such a way if
Mhm.
you take it in a matter of intelligences. So
Okay.
not I don't want to go away from what we're talking about, but
Mhm.
talent can be diverse, right? And if you do anything that is not in your particular intelligence,
Mhm.
you may have to do more work than
Okay.
someone that is more intelligent in that particular aspect.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I can say that's an interesting point actually, because I actually know of like some of my friends who are like talented in another area,
Mm.
but yet they lack in another area. So just like you might be surprised that someone is like good in calculating things,
Mm.
mathematics, but when it comes to like understanding things like physics, you might see that this guy doesn't even like they're actually being challenged by physics, yet they are like talented in other areas. So I think that's actually like an interesting point of saying that there are different types of, let's say, intelligence. It's not like, but the problem with these days,
Mm.
people they see intelligence is like it's measured by only academics.
Yeah.
They don't look at others, like those types of intelligence you were mentioning, that there are people like good with their numbers, some people are like good with their body language, some people are good with like visualizing things. So
Mhm.
people, they don't often see things in that way. They just think that the only way you can measure intelligence is through academics.
Yeah.
So on the issue of like being disciplined and those people of just like rely on their talent,
Mm.
there's something which I have here, which
Mm.
is talking about the compounding effect of discipline. Just like I was saying that if you do something in 1 week, meaning you've done the same thing in 7 weeks. If you do it in 2 weeks, you've done it in 14 days. And then after a year ends, meaning you've been doing the same thing for 365 days. And then if there's something which I mentioned earlier, I said that people who are talented, they don't do something when they don't feel like it. So I might just wake up today and say, you know what, I don't think I have to like study. I don't have to like read any books. But someone who is like disciplined, they know they have to like
Mm.
put so much effort. So do you think the compounding effect of discipline could be one of the reason why those people who are like talented often lose to average people like show discipline every
Mhm.
day?
I like the last statement where you talked about
Mm.
the average person.
Mm.
Now, you need to understand that all of us are talented.
Yes.
Yeah. But there are majorly three ways of compounding before discipline of getting talent.
Mhm.
Now, this is just a trick of getting talent.
Mhm.
You're either educated in that particular thing,
Okay.
or it's a genetic thing,
Mhm.
or you can learn it just by observational learning.
Mhm.
Let's leave that. That's just a trick to force
Okay.
a talent.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
you talked about the average
Mhm.
person. I want to create a scenario. I'm Prudence. I've
Mhm.
grown up, quote and unquote. I've just grown up in a society where Prudence is good at her studies, Prudence is good at speech, Prudence is
Mhm.
good at this and this.
Mhm.
That identity has been formed in me that I am naturally an overachiever.
Mhm.
But then there is my brother Nigel, who is usually average.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And in their mind, they know that to reach Prudence's level, I have to
Mhm.
work extra.
Extra. You have to work
Yeah.
extra. Yeah.
And now there is something that is created in both our minds.
Mhm.
In my mind, and the people that know me, it's called the halo effect. What
Okay.
does this mean?
Mhm.
I naturally look at myself as someone who is a winner. And if I don't win,
Mhm.
no, it's like this. I'm a winner. And if I fail, no, I'm a winner. And if I fail, then that's not me.
Mhm.
So it naturally creates that thing that I am a winner naturally. And when you have talent and you're naturally winning, and then you actually get into the real world where your applause is not going to be constant,
Mhm. Mhm.
then that's where discipline does not happen, usually for
Yeah.
people that are talented,
Mhm.
because the applause and all this that they're now not getting steals from them the identity that they usually have.
Mhm.
Mm. the normal identity they're usually achieving. That okay, now how if I'm not winning, then I'm no longer the person that I am.
Yeah.
You get. So now this average person, because they're used to constantly not being appreciated, they know that I
Mhm.
always have to go the hard way to get something. That's
Yeah.
why they can usually get something. They usually get a lot more. Why? Because they're not usually they don't usually face the applause.
Mhm.
They have always gotten things the hard way.
Yeah.
And then that besides even discipline, when you're talented, I don't know, but talent naturally makes us a bit reluctant
Yeah.
because you know that at the end of the day I'll still get, But they say that even a fool that practices 100 times is better than a wise one that does it once.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in psychology we also believe that when you constantly expose yourself to something, you become it.
Mhm.
You get.
Yeah.
So even a fool that can't learn well, if they expose themselves too much and they trust that they don't know, they usually get more than the person that has, you know.
Yeah. The talent.
And then maybe one thing you cannot leave out. The reason sometimes why talented people do not achieve a lot is
Mhm.
because when they fail the first time, they shrink
Yeah.
and they don't want to go again. Why? Because that failure steals them of the identity they have naturally gotten
Mhm.
constantly.
Yeah.
So in protecting their identity, they do a lot more of relaxing. Not relaxing because they just no, but because they
Mhm.
don't want the identity of being a winner to be taken away from them. So when it compounds, they end up being losers because they don't want the identity stolen. Number one, number two, the halo effect,
Yeah.
because now that's how people are seeing them. And another thing that we call rationalization also
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
They try to find a sensible reason for them not doing
Mhm.
something. I can always do it. I can always win,
Yeah.
so that they feel comfortable in the skin, in what other people can see, but then they inwardly, even if they may
Mhm.
not accept it, they are failing. So that's how it happens.
Okay. So if there's something which I picked out from what you're saying, you say something about like people are average, but they're disciplined. They're used to like losing multiple times or things not going their ways many times.
Mm.
But these people have like talent. They have like in entitlement that each and every time they have to like things they have to go their way. They don't really like accept it that maybe sometimes you might actually like fail.
Mm.
Just like I love the quote which she mentioned that a fool who like practices 100 times, it's actually much better than a like a master who just does something one time.
Mm.
Because the thing is, which I think can actually contribute to people who are average actually performing much better than people. Sorry, people are average much performing than people of the talent.
Mm.
Because if you do something over and over again for a long period of time, you're actually going to like end up learning some important details, learning some important things, and actually noting down some things
Mm.
which can actually help you to like improve, be better next time. But if you're just doing something with like a lower frequency, you're
Mm.
doing something, let's say once a week, you're not going to like learn much. You're not going to like take away that much. It's just like if I can give an example, although I'm not really into sports, but there are people who are into sports.
Mm.
So those people they say you have to like train every day for you to like become better, become like the athlete who is going to be stand out amongst the other athletes. So you don't have to do it like once a week. It's something which you have to do maybe 5 times or 6 times a week. Because if you're doing it one time a week, you're not going to see some things which this average person was like. They have like this drive to, because they feel like I have to do something. I have to push myself. But this person who is like talent, they think that you know what, I'm okay. I don't think I have to like
Mm.
put any extra effort.
Mm.
So I think we have to also now talk about the comfort
Mm.
of like the people who are talented because they feel like I don't think I'm behind time. I don't think I have to like rush anyway. I
Mm.
can always do this like when I feel like it. It's like the example I was mentioning on
Mm.
sports. I actually also know like other guys who are talented, but then you see that okay, although yeah, we agree that to some extent
Mm.
talent can actually then contribute to helping other people are working hard to then be much better than other people because we all know it that
Yeah.
for you to become like one of the very best,
Mm.
it's not just like let's say being disciplined. You need
Mm.
at least also the talent.
Mm.
But for the talent to even like make any effect for you to become one of the very best, I think you need to like be working hard at the same time and also being disciplined.
Mm.
So I think we now have to talk about the comfort of the people who have the talent, because this is the truth. Honestly, we read stories every day that of that person who you thought like in class, this person was like the average student. They're like slow to get things. They're not like understanding mathematics. But then you see that okay, later in life, this person then becomes like this successful businessman, which we all like look up to or aspire to be one day. So I think we have to talk about like the comfort which is killing a lot of talented people out there who are like sitting on their talent. They think like, you know what, I can just like do this anytime I feel like. But then time actually doesn't like wait for any man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, I have two quotes that I know of that are really, really
Hmm.
so I don't know, like they are heartbreaking even for myself when I listen to
Hmm.
them, because this topic relates so much to me. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So in the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki says that
Hmm.
A students work for B students, B
Oh.
students work
Yeah.
for C students. And sometimes this makes me lazy.
Yeah.
But now the logic behind it
Mm-hmm.
is into another quote that I
Mm-hmm.
will bring on later. But then it's so frustrating that this actually happens in the real world,
Yeah.
because you know when you are naturally, but when you're not as gifted as someone else, you work harder than them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you naturally know that if I don't make it, I have no way through.
Yeah.
You
No
know,
other way
yeah,
through.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So sometimes talent brings us to something called self handicapping. Like you
Mm-hmm.
naturally become handicapped because you feel like you can always start another day.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You know that you have another chance to start over and over again, unlike someone who has no
Mm-hmm.
opportunity. The example of a student that is maybe being compared to a sibling
Yeah. Yeah.
is so relevant,
Mm-hmm.
because you learn how to be disciplined from an early stage,
Mm-hmm.
which is a great system for you to learn as you grow, right?
Yeah.
Because if I've always been an overachiever, I don't think that competition is there,
Yeah.
right? But then when you're young and you've always been compared to this person, you're always being shown, oh, look at this one, look at this
You
one.
have like the drive
You
to
even
prove
forget,
yourself.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Mm.
You learn the basics of life at
Yeah.
an early age,
Mm.
yeah. And then that's how these guys always win the others, because these ones, first of all, you don't have competition at the top.
Mhm.
I mean, it's all good, it's all roses until you
Mhm.
actually now face, and then you have not learned how to, you've not mastered the ethics of growth. So at the end of the day, you like it or not, you have to face it. And then the second quote that hurts me so much: if you're out there and you're very talented you're talented in something and you don't
Mhm.
want to execute, or you don't want to do anything about it, my dad has always told me that when
Mhm.
you do not do what you are supposed to do, someone less qualified than you is
They
going
will
to
do
get
the
it.
work. Yeah. Yeah.
So it feels so bad that there's so many people that can do so many things, or can do and achieve greatly. But because they have chosen to be comfortable,
Mhm.
at the end of the day, the worst part is that when you don't do anything, you're the one that loses.
Yeah. You're
Yeah,
the
yeah.
one who
You're
actually
the one that
loses.
loses. So whenever you choose to be comfortable, someone less qualified than the person that you knew that is not supposed to get that thing is going to get it, because these
Mhm.
people are facing the worst. They know how it feels to be at rock bottom, and they always want to go to the top.
Mhm.
So obviously, so comfort is your own choice, but it's also your own loss.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yeah. And then if there's something which I also need to like point out when it comes to like people have the talent getting like more comfortable. People who have talent, they have like this tendency of like underestimating other people. So they just think just because they have like talent, I think I'm like the most talented. Yeah, they think that, let's say, no one else is going to like do the job, or no one is going to like get the job done more
Mm.
than them. So I think that's something which we also have to like talk about, because I've seen this in life, that people would think, or let's say people even have the talent, not people who think they have the talent.
Mm.
They have like this tendency of like underestimating other people, thinking like they are like better than other people in this.
No, it's not even
Uh,
a tendency.
mm,
You see, when you
Mhm.
You remember when I talked about the halo effect?
Yeah.
The halo effect is it's just a it's a psychological term, but it helps like this when you see how I'm dressed right now.
Yeah.
It's hard for you to think that I'm broke, even if I don't have a
Uh,
penny, even if I didn't have a penny, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the way you perceive me
Mm.
is you're going to constantly think of me like that.
Yeah.
Now, relating it to the talented people, when they win and they're getting all these applause, they naturally, if they are receiving it from people, you're giving them the validation that you know you're great. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's not even formed within these people; it's formed by the people that are are before them
Okay.
because they're giving them the appraisal, like you're good enough. So
Yeah.
at the
The
end of the day,
best.
yeah.
Mhm.
But if you want to, if these people are supposed to lose, they just need to see someone who is better than them.
Mhm.
But when there is no one better than them, they will always win because
Mhm.
they have no reason. They don't have a reason not to. I mean, like they have a reason to keep going. It's now a bit tricky because sometimes when they
Mhm.
see people better than them, they may fall or rise.
Yeah.
Yeah, but until they stop getting the validation, yeah, they're still the best, and you can't prove
Mhm.
otherwise. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I think this is something which was actually worth mentioning that people who are talented, they think like they're better than
They
everyone
don't think
else.
they are.
Exactly, they are better than everyone else. They're underestimating everyone else. Because if you actually look at this in life, that even one of the greatest people we like look up to, they're not even people with like the talent, but they were just like average people who actually had the drive of saying, you know what, I think I have to official that that gets back to the point we were saying about comfort. Because if you're comfortable, you don't think like I don't think I have to like focus on my time. Maybe I have like this much time left. But if you're like just an average person, you have to do the work. You have to push, like do the extra work, put the extra effort. Because one of the people we actually look up to, because I'm more into science. I like read a lot of science books, and one of the people I look up to it's Albert Einstein.
Hmm.
And if we read about the life of Albert Einstein, he wasn't even like one of those intelligent people who you might think that, yeah, this guy was like born with this intellect. He was just like an average student. He was suffering. And it was even hard for him to like get into the college. But then he just had like this curiosity of just like an average person who thinks that maybe if I like put some effort, I can become better at this. I can be able to like get the knowledge and I can be able to understand this. Because if you have talent, there's just like this ego in those people. They think like they all know it, they all have it, they're done with it, they're through with it.
Yeah.
So I think we have to talk about the dangers of let's say talent, because I think it also comes with like ego.
Yeah.
We now think that you're done, you're like you have it all. You don't have to like no longer put any effort.
Hmm. Okay. I think that is correct, but I also want to think that you know we are all talented in something.
In
Yeah.
some different way. Yeah.
Despite the fact that talent can be really, really dangerous, but the advantages of talent are far more joyous than the dangers.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because you see, when you finally discover where you're good at, like
Yeah.
an area where you can
Mhm.
master, you there's no reason for you looking at any other thing.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But then I cannot, of course, go away from the dangers of talent. When of course the comfort thing you talked about is usually the thing that really keeps people back.
Mhm.
Yeah. And there is something we call cognitive dissonance in
Yeah.
psychology. Yeah. um when you are always clapped for, when you are always given applause, when you're always given the higher ground, sometimes even when you're failing, you never know.
Mhm.
And so you can go into cognitive dissonance, like you
Yeah.
no longer know yourself, and then you start identifying for something else. But that's
Mhm.
not even the worst that can come out of talent being mishandled. We've seen people that have lost their lives. I think
Mhm.
there's the footballer, the guy called Pogba, right? Yeah. Because
Yeah.
now
You
that
got
he, for
like
some time,
banned
because of
for some
drugs
time.
and all that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes when you are relaxed and you know that everything is doing well, there's
Mhm.
nothing that can hand the earth will naturally humble you when you're not playing
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
according to the
Mhm.
rules. Yeah, because there's always someone to replace you.
Mm.
Yeah. So I feel like talent, when mishandling means not working on it, refusing to learn the ethics of what goes with talent to
Mhm.
make good success. Yeah. Um, you know, uh, Disrespecting people. Some of these things, because
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
end of the day, it's so sad. But in the psychodynamic perspective of psychology, we believe that things
Mm.
always come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you are not using your talent or your ability, what I call currency, because
Yeah.
talent should only be used in exchange for something,
Mhm.
and it's supposed to be something that brings value, not devaluating something.
Mhm.
Yeah. So when you are using talent, which is a currency, for making others feel worse, or not using it, in a good way, at the end of the day, things do not end up well for you.
Mhm.
So as long as you have a talent, the best way to leverage it is to make sure that it compounds the better for the society and yourself.
Mhm.
But when it's doing self harm, or when it's giving you leverage and a chance for you to, play around, at the end of the day, you're the one that loses. And then
Mhm.
also, I use the example of psychology because that's what I do. When you talked about the ego, uh, our view of
Yeah.
ego in psychology is kind of different, and you should view it like this somehow. Um, Ego is your ability to differentiate between what is right and what is wrong,
It is wrong.
according to us.
Mhm.
Yeah. So you have the super ego and the id. Now, when you have talent, it's ego that is supposed to decide which one is right and wrong. Yeah.
Mhm.
The id is the one that tells us to do the right things, and the super ego is the one that tells us to do the wrong things. So when your super ego is stronger than your id, which is your urge
Mhm.
to do good things, you're going to end up doing wrong things. So even with talent, we need to always make sure that our ego is stable enough to realize the wrongs and the rights. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. I have to be conscious of time, but
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think we need
Sure.
to know talent is not bad. It just needs to be manipulated correctly,
Okay.
because even a right word, when spelled wrongly, can mean something else.
Means
Yeah,
something
yeah. So that's the
completely
same thing
different.
with talent. We
Wow.
just need to be careful, leverage it, know that you have it, compound it, because it's currency. When you
Mhm.
use talent with determination, persistence, knowledge, you obviously compound success. But when you
Okay.
take it the other way and you keep
Mhm.
subtracting these things, yeah, you are damned. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think before we end the podcast today, I think under the reason why the people who are talented, they often lose to people who are average but who are disciplined. I think we have to mention something about resilience, and because the thing is, the type of, or let's say the times we're living in,
Mm,
it's no longer like way back then, whereby let's say you're guaranteed, let's say after you're finished with school, you're done with school, or with whatever you're doing, you're
mm,
like guaranteed to like have a job, or you just like get a job easily.
mm,
But to the times which we're living in, we passed the internet age, and right now we're now in the age of AI. That some simple things which the humans were like doing back then,
mm,
it's now like something which can be automated, or it's no longer something that's like now recognized as something of like high intellect activity.
mm,
So I think that's where the issue of being resilient comes through, because
mm,
just because someone is intelligent, they think, what, just because I'm intelligent, I have to like get this easily, or it has
mm,
to be like smooth. There don't have to be like any rocky areas, or like I don't even to like face any troubles doing
mm,
this. So I think there's something which we have to talk about, because if there's something which I have noticed, I even have people I know
mm,
who struggle with this issue of like resilience, because they think like the first try they try to do something, just because they have the talent, it has to like
mm.
happen the way they want. Or just because you're playing football, you think you're a good soccer player, and every time you like attempt to shoot, you should like score. But I think it's not that way. And I think these young people, they have to like at least be resilient, because that's one thing which I know for sure, that people are average who are disciplined, they have resilience, because they are determined to like get whatever they want, because they don't have the talent, and the only thing that's going to like get them to like whatever goal they have in which they intend to achieve in their life, is the resilience to like get past through the tough times, or when things are not like going through their way. So I think you can add on to that before we finish this podcast.
Nigel, can I tell you something sad?
Ah.
The truth is that The reason why many of the talented people don't have resilience is because
Mhm.
they're always the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're always the best.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're always the best in their
Mhm.
sectors.
Mhm.
If you've been to rooms where there are always people better than you,
Mhm.
you will naturally have resilience because
Yeah.
first of all, you'll be showed that you are not anything.
You're not even anything at all.
The second thing is
Mhm.
that you will, if you are positively reinforced, you
Mhm.
get the urge to work to be better.
Yeah.
So because these people, the ones that are average, because they're usually not being praised,
Mhm.
they always strive to be better because the difference is that the ones that are
Mhm.
always the best are positively reinforced. I
Mhm.
mean, yeah, because sometimes they feel like, okay, I can work, but these ones are negatively reinforced. They
Mhm.
always feel like, let me do better because I've never been anything,
Mhm.
right? So resilience cannot be built when you are always with people that are under you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Resilience can only be built when you're with people who are better than you.
Better than you.
Yeah, because I mean,
Mhm.
why would you try to be better? Why would you work under pressure to continue being the best? No, no, no.
Yeah. You won't.
So
Yeah.
it can only happen when you place yourself in rooms where
Mhm.
people are better than you, where
Yeah.
you find a challenge. Naturally, resilience will be built, and that's
Mhm.
why if you're talented, make sure that you spend more time with people that are better than you
Mhm.
because you'll always realize that you're not enough.
Yeah.
And realizing that you're not enough is not supposed to push you back to depress you. No, no, no. It's only supposed to make you realize that, you know what, I can actually be better because there are people
Mhm.
that are better than me.
Mhm.
But when you allow yourself to always be the best in your circle,
Mhm.
you have some of the following characteristics. You have a big ego, you'll be proud, you will not speak. Did you know, by the way, it said that people who speak harshly to people are usually people that are not exposed. Think
Mhm.
about it after the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's all.
So it was nice having Prudence on the podcast, and I think this was like such an eye-opening episode, and I think there's a lot of information she was giving in this podcast. I can't even like absorb all of it at once. There's a lot of useful information which is going to like open your eyes if you actually like listen to it. So, Prudence, it was great having you on the podcast. We actually enjoyed shooting this episode. So, tune in for next time.